distinguished guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to another edition of the inaugural lecture of this great university. This time around is the 109th edition, to be delivered by a distinguished professor of this great university. She is Professor DUPE OLUDIPE. Can we give her a round of applause? Of course, Professor BIMBOLA DUPE is a professor of education and evaluation and science education from the Faculty of Education, OLABISI, ONABANJO University. Please, can we give her a round of applause while we await the arrival of the distinguished principal officers of this great university, and of course other distinguished academics of OLABISI, ONABANJO University. Quickly, we want to recognize, because everybody here is important to us, and we welcome you all once again. But just to quickly recognize our eminent personality in our midst. To start with is His Royal Highness Oba Adesesan Ogutayo, the Ajalaron of the Ijebu Federal. Kábíyèsí o, kábíyèsí o, you are most welcome, sir. Oba Engineer M.O. Adesina, kábíyèsí, sir. Kábíyèsí o, kábíyèsí o. Of course, you know who is here with his amiable wife. Thank you for coming, sir. Quickly, in the academia, it is important for me to mention the presence in our midst here, the presence of Professor Chief Olajide Ajayi, CON. Professor Ajayi is the Foundation Provost of Obafemi Awolowo College of Health Sciences, OLABISI, ONABANJO University. Of course, that's our Shagamu campus. He's the pioneer provost of that wonderful college. Thank you for coming, sir. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and recognizing a distinguished Nigerian and eminent Yoruba man in our midst, a great artist, and of course currently the present leader of Apeni Kabisi, sir. I think it's important for me to mention in our midst the Provost Ijebu Diocese and his amiable wife, very Reverend Ezekiel Ilekoya. Thank you very much for coming. Can we give him a round of applause? Also, of course, the recognition of dignitaries among us here will be done immediately after the inaugural lecture. By quickly, let me recognize the presence of His Royal Highness Oba Barrister Olusegun Ogunye, the Koko Ojutumoro Apabigi. We also have in our midst Most Reverend Dr. Ephraim Adibola and Mommy Aderanti Ademowo. Thank you for coming. Ademowo, thank you very much. Most Reverend Dr. GL and Mommy Oyin Lashebikan. Most Reverend Dr. J.O. and Mrs. Comfort Agifenwa, you are most recognized. Most Reverend Dr. and Mrs. Chegun Okunbadejo, you are most welcome. Most Reverend Dr. Shino and Mrs. Oluwatoyin Fakpe, you are welcome. Right Reverend Dr. and Mrs. Kuponu, you are most welcome. And of course, Right Reverend and Professor and Mrs. Bayo Obijole, thank you for coming. Right Reverend Dr. and Mrs. Oluranti Odubogun, you are most welcome. Right Reverend and Mrs. Samuel Egbebumi, thank you for coming. Right Reverend Dr. Babatunde and Mrs. Olutudun Ogunbanwo, thank you for coming. And of course, once again, the leader of Yoruba socio-political group, Afenifere, Baba Ayo Adibanjo. Once again, you are most welcome and recognized. Thanks for coming. I think it's important for me to equally recognize the former acting provost, University College Hospital, Professor AGO-IWOYE. Thank you for coming. Of course, the Pro-Chancellor of College of Technology, Ilese, Barrister Kunle Kalejaye, you are recognized. And of course, the Deputy Inspector General of Police and Engineer, Baba Femi Oshuleye Oshoba, retired. You are recognized along with your amiable wife. Thanks for coming. Representatives of CIBAS Group, Dr. Taiwo Afolabi, and CEO CIBAS Group, you are recognized. Thank you for coming. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the procession is about to get into the hall to mark the commencement of the 109th Inaugural Lecture for today. As soon as the procession comes in, we will implore every one of you to stand and remain standing until the members or the constituent of the academic procession will take their seats. We will be duly informed as soon as they come in. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the academic procession into the hall is about to commence. As I implore every one of you to stand, please, and remain standing as the academic procession gets into the hall. This, of course, signifies the commencement of the inaugural lecture, of course, the 109th edition of OLABISI ONABANJO University. Please, can we give the academic procession a good round of applause? Thank you very much. I welcome you all to 109th Inaugural Lecture titled Changing the Narratives in Science Classroom, the Reality versus the Idea. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, the lecture is to be delivered by the distinguished Professor of Educational Evaluation and Science Education from the Faculty of Education, OLABISI ONABANJO University. Leading the procession today is the Acting Dean Student Affairs, Dr. Maru Oladimeji. It's closely followed by the Acting Dean Faculty of Environmental Studies, Dr. Abiodun Oyiloye. Next to Dr. Oyiloye is the Acting Dean Faculty of Engineering, Dr. Abayomi Layemi. Next to him is the Dean Faculty of Agricultural Production in Renewable Resources, Professor Akim Awojobi. Next to him is the Dean Faculty of Agricultural Management and Rural Development, Professor Deran Awotide. Next to him is the Dean Faculty of Arts, Professor Samson Dari. Followed by the Dean Faculty of Pharmacy, ably represented by Dr. Latif Bakari. Next to him is the Dean Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences, Professor Mrs. Ogudausi. Equally followed by the Dean Faculty of Law, Dr. Bade Akerimade. Next to him is the Dean Faculty of Education, Professor Olufemi Kalesowo. The Dean Faculty of Social Sciences is the next person, Professor Israel Adenigui. The Dean Faculty of Administration and Management Sciences, Professor R.S. Ishomoyi, is followed by the Provost College of Engineering and Environmental Studies, Dr. Bachiru Dutuwa, and of course, the Provost College of Agricultural Sciences, Professor Adewale Onosoya. Next to him is the Provost of Akemi Awolowo College of Health Sciences, Professor Eho Olatunji. And of course, the Provost, School of Postgraduate Studies, Professor OLUDIPE. Next to him is the Bursar of the University, Mr. Semi Makinde, FCA. University Librarian is the next person, Dr. AGO-IWOYE. Followed by the University Registrar, Mr. Femi Ogunwogunju, and of course the Deputy Chancellor of Administration, Professor Charles Adekoya. Next to him is the Deputy Chancellor of Academy, Professor Abosede Oderinde, and of course our own distinguished inaugural lecturer of today, Professor BIMBOLA DUPE, who is honored by our able Vice Chancellor, Professor AGO-IWOYE. Can we give them a round of applause? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, can we give the distinguished personality at the high table another round of applause? Thank you very much. Mr. Vice Chancellor, who is the chairman of the program of today, other distinguished personality at the high table, distinguished guests here present, it is now my pleasure to invite the registrar of this great university, Mr. Femi Ogunwogunju, who in turn will invite our amiable Vice Chancellor, Professor Adekoya, to declare the inaugural lecture open. Thank you very much, Mr. Registrar, sir.
You may have your seats, please. Your Excellencies, Your Royal Majesties here present, my Lords of Spiritual and Temporal, I welcome you to this 109th Inaugural Lecture. It is my pleasure to ask the Vice Chancellor, Professor AGO-IWOYE, to please declare this ceremony open. Vice Chancellor, sir.
The principal officer of the university, provost, deans, heads of departments are present, professors, members of Senate, our inaugural lecturer of today and his spouse, our cabinet chiefs, eminent personalities are present. On behalf of Senate of this university, I hereby declare 109 Inaugural Lecture open.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this 109th Inaugural Lecture is to be delivered by Professor BIMBOLA OLUDIPE. May I again ask the Vice Chancellor to please introduce the inaugural lecturer. Vice Chancellor, sir.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have a pleasure of introducing the inaugural lecturer of today, Professor BIMBOLA OLUDIPE. She was born on the 30th of June 1970 in Ilesha, Osun State, to the family of late Prince Olukayode Bangbelu of Owo-Ijebu and late Mrs. Felicia Abosede Bangbelu Banjo of Odo Lamese Ijebu Mushi. BIMBOLA had a primary education at Emmanuel Anglican School in DUPE, Ijebu-Ode, between 1976 to 1981. She proceeded to Our Lady of Apostles Secondary School, Ijebu-Ode, for secondary education from 1981 to 1986. She went for higher school certificate, HSC, at the then School of Basic Studies, Ibeba, Ogun State University, now OLABISI University. to study physics education, where she earned a Bachelor of Education Honors in Physics in the year 1992. She won the award for the best physics education student in 300 level and still finished as the best in that class. She had a mandatory National Youth Service Corps in Oyo State in 1993. Her desire to pursue for higher knowledge took her to the University of Ibadan, where she had a Master's of Education degree in Educational Evaluation in 1995, and later a Doctor of Philosophy, PhD degree, in the same program in 2004. She's very passionate about the teaching profession, particularly physics. Her first point of call to the teaching profession was at Mayflower Secondary School in Kenya in 1993, where she taught physics under the Ogun State Teaching Service Commission. She later transferred her service to Oyo State Teaching Service Commission in 1995. She taught at Bolivia Grammar School for a few years before she reluctantly quit the job to focus on her master's and then PhD program at the University of Ibadan, Oyo State. While pursuing her master's program, she taught some students as a private tutor because physics teachers were scarce and high demand in those days. Our inaugural lecturer of today joined the service of OLABISI University as Lecturer 2 on 6 September 2004 at the Curriculum Studies and Instructional Technology Department, Faculty of Education, that later metamorphosed into the current Science and Technology Education Department known as STED. Through the days of hard work, doggedness, and resistance, Professor OLUDIPE rose through the rank to become a Professor of Education Evaluation and Science Education on 1st October 2020. Aside teaching various courses in a field of specialization, Professor BIMBOLA DUPE OLUDIPE has supervised many master dissertations and co-supervised a number of PhD theses. Within our department, faculty, and university as a whole, PROF has served in various capacities. She was a level course advisor in 2007 to almost 500 undergraduate accounting students and almost 200 science education students in both regular as well as a part-time program respectively. She was a representative of the Faculty of Education on the board of International School, OLABISI University, AGO-IWOYE. She was also at one time staff advisor for curriculum students, Association of Nigeria, postgraduate students, seminar coordinator, and all that, to only mention a few. Professor OLUDIPE, under the able leadership of former Vice Chancellor, Professor Olatude University, was appointed the chairperson of the Anti-Violence and Sexual Harassment Policy Formation Committee for the University. The Ad-Working Committee delivered a report within the stipulated time as the day before which that was given. A citizen educator is a member of many professional bodies, including the Curriculum Organization of Nigeria, Science Teachers Association of Nigeria, International Association for Innovation in Education Assessment, National Association of Education Research and Evaluation, Third World Organization of Women in Science, International Federation of University Women, among others. Our eminent scholar and academic by excellence, Professor OLUDIPE, has to accredit nothing less than 37 publications in reputable journals, both at national and international level, and she has also contributed meaningfully to educational books. In recognition of her resourcefulness, she has been appointed as an editor in a number of scholarly journals, including the Journal of Environmental Education of the OLABISI University. She has been a resource person at many educational workshops and seminars, and outside the university, she happened to be the editor-in-chief of a number of Christian magazines and also authors of Christian books. She is the president of the Women, Ladies, Girls, Gents, and Boys Guide of the Ijebu-Anga Diocese. Where she mentors women and youth to strive for excellence and godliness. Prof is married to the Right Reverend Dr. Peter OLUDIPE, the Diocese Bishop of the Ijebu-Anga Diocese. And their union is blessed with wonderful children. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming her to the podium to deliver our inaugural lecture.
Vice Chancellor, the Deputy Vice Chancellors, Academic and Administration, other principal officers of the University, Provost of the postgraduate school and colleges, deans and faculties and student affairs, heads of departments, directors of programs and units, distinguished colleagues teaching and non-teaching, colleagues and sisters from sister universities and institutions, Your Excellencies and Royal Majesties, my Lord spiritual and temporal, gentlemen and ladies of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, greatest of sights, yes. Greatest on your heights. Yes. Thank you. The title of my inaugural lecture is Changing the Narratives in Science Classrooms, the Reality versus the Ideal. It is none of the novels snubbing that runs global God that shows masses. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. I give all the glory, praise, and adoration to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords for his faithfulness and mercy over me. I bless him for the gift of life, unmerited favor, and divine protection. It is with profound gratitude to God that by his mercies, he counted me worthy to deliver the 109th Inaugural Lecture of this great university, OLABISI ONABANJO. This lecture is the first in the series to be presented in the Science and Technology Education Department, since it was carved out of the Curriculum Studies and Instructional Technology Department in 2015. And it is coming from the first female head of Science and Technology Education Department, and also the first female head of the department to present to the department for NUC accreditation in 2021, and by God's grace, secured full accreditation of all 6 programs in the department. The first female alumna, physics education graduate of this university to become a professor. I stand before this distinguished audience today to say that I'm a product of God's infinite grace and mercies. The yearning and prayer of the then 8-year-old girl has come to reality. I happened to be an 8-year-old girl over 45 years ago, earnestly praying and desiring to become a professor in the future. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, permit me to elaborate on this before this distinguished audience. My maternal grandfather had 5 daughters aside sons. According to my late mom, the father did not see any reason why he should send his girl to school, as he believed that they would end up in the kitchen. By the time he saw his cousin, who invested in the education of his female children, he had a change of mind. He got his girls enrolled in school, bought books, uniforms, and paid the necessary fees. However, according to Shakespeare, the web of our life is of a mingled young, good and ill together. The father died before the year ended. The mother was not financially buoyant to undertake the burden, so the girls had to find a way of survival. My late mother lived with an extended family who supported our academic also to a level. She took up a teaching job and was saving in order to advance her career before my late dad surfaced, promising to support her all the way. It was quite unfortunate that situations beyond both of them almost followed her dream, but thank God she was able to advance to a certain level years later, although she could not make it to her desired peak. Being the only female child of my mother and the closest to her among her children, I was empathic towards her. I saw through her pains, yearnings, and passion, but helpless. Having been raised by both parents through prayers, as innocent and tender as I was around that age, I usually knelt down almost every night before retiring to bed and prayed. Lord, please grant me the grace to lead to adulthood, to serve you and become a professor. God hearkened unto my voice and granted my request even beyond my expectations. 16 years down the line of my sojourn as a lecturer at this university, I became a professor of educational evaluation and science education on 1st October 2020. God made my dream a reality. Even if I have thousands of funds, they are not enough to adequately express my gratitude to God for this great thing. The race indeed is not to be sweet, nor the battle to be strong. I owe it all to God's divine grace and mercies. My intention was to study pharmacy, as my senior brother studied medicine in this great university, then Ogun State University, and today practices as an internist in the United States of America. I did JAM, but did not make the cutoff for pharmacy. I sought admission into the Ogun State University and then the University of Ibadan, and was offered physics education and physics in both institutions respectively. The then Dean of Faculty of Education encouraged me to go in for physics education in this university. Late Professor Kayode Ajayi informed me that I could change to pharmacy if I did well in 100 level. I was so elated. I studied hard and went back to him at the end of the session. He told me point blank that the would not dare release one of the best students in the faculty to another faculty. I was unhappy as a result, but later I accepted the program because with self-discovery, I knew I had very neat affection for teaching. Aside this, my parents were teachers and seasoned ones at that. I did not just pick up the challenge of studying physics education joyfully, as it entails numerical skills, which I'm very proficient in. By the mercy of God, I did not only love the program as I joined in it, but imagined the best myself with an accompanying cash award from one of the scholarships endowed university. In my sojourn as a physics teacher in some secondary schools, my students not only had impressive results in physics, but made me born teacher, Sir Cobra, and so on. I realized that I did not just love teaching, but did so and still do so passionately. I am glad to be back to my alma mater since 9 years ago to contribute my own to the advancement of knowledge in the faculty that produced me. Introduction, Mr. Vice Chancellor. It is a known fact that science and technology rule the world. It has improved and continues to improve the lifestyle of mankind in the area of education, medicine, aviation, industry, agriculture, and telecommunication. Several inventions have saved mankind time and resources. Several interventions have been put in place, and Nigeria is believed to be making enormous contributions towards the development of science and technology, but is still underperforming relative to developed nations and abundant human capital. Chukuma Moyer 2022. Prevailing situations in science classrooms. The state of science education in our schools is still faced with enormous challenges and myriad of issues. The reality, which is the prevailing situation, is that schools are still confronted with inadequate material and human resources, overcrowded classrooms arising from inadequate classrooms and science teachers, poor teaching and assessment methods, inadequate retraining programs, inadequate laboratories and facilities, ineffective supervision, overloaded science syllabus, shortage of instructional materials, unconducive working environment, poor motivation, poor curriculum implementation, poor teacher quality, and so on. And Aviation 2022, Ajayi Tour 2020, Ajimba Tour 2021, OLUDIPE and OLUDIPE 2021, OLUDIPE 2022. Below 5, figure 1 of an ill-equipped biology science laboratory. Figure 2, ill-equipped multipurpose science laboratory. Figure 3, overcrowded chemistry laboratory. These still subsist in our schools in this 21st century. In previous years, students' results in sciences in external examination used to be grossly abysmal. There have been improvements over time, table 1, possibly because of the various interventions put in place by the government. However, the results can still be better improved upon, so that many more science students can attain mastery by making distinctions in the sciences. Table 1 below is a reflection of students' recent performances in the sciences, physics, chemistry, and biology, as released by YA 2019-2022. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. Our skills are responsible for human capacity development, who can be equipped with the much needed skills, processes, knowledge, abilities, and instincts that we need as a nation to survive, adapt and advance in a fast-changing world of technology. In other words, if you want to see how great Nigeria move from the state of a developing country to a developed country, there is need to change the narratives in our classrooms. Addressing these myriad of issues in our classrooms by changing the narrative of the reality will lead us into the ideal. This is the trust of this lecture. The idea will not only improve the teaching learning process, but positively impact students' learning outcomes in the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains. Development in science and technology will be further advanced if the teaching and learning of basic science and technology, physics, chemistry, and biology, and assessment motor skills are revisited and witness a turnaround in positive direction. And gender stereotypes, limiting equal representation and participation of females in our schools are addressed. Teacher science quality. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. In this school system, it is enough facts that teachers play important roles in the teaching and learning of science. They determine the quality of science education of any nation and are in fact at the center of the development of any educational system. They are the most powerful influence on student success. The quality of teaching by the teachers determines the quality of students' learning. In the classroom, science teachers are expected to ensure that students acquire necessary knowledge and the requisite scientific skills and processes needed for problem solving and critical thinking. Teacher quality, whether measured by characteristics of the instructor, vis-a-vis content competence, qualification, experience, teaching methodology, classroom behavior, motivational level, instructional process, and assessment mode determine instructional outcomes. OLUDIPE 2021. In my studies, I took a look at teacher quality in terms of the following: science teachers' content knowledge. Teachers' content knowledge in science, whether deep or shallow, will influence their ability to construct new explanations or activities for students and interactions during teaching process. It is logical to submit that teachers with relatively weak conceptual understanding of science are likely to present the nature of science as difficult, abstract, complex, and as cognitively lower level questions in areas where they possess little knowledge, and possibly higher level questions in areas where they feel they are more knowledgeable. To budget these submissions are Akombi et al. 2023, Figona et al. 2020, and Melanie, Nord, and Han 2023. OLUDIPE 2021 reported a low content mastery level by physics teachers. There is a Yoruba adage that says, "Oh, it is what the birds hit that will sustain its flight. It is what students are taught that they will know." Teachers that are weak conceptually will relatively impact negatively on their students. It is a matter of garbage in, garbage out. Teachers' classroom behavior and science learning. Aside the content knowledge and science teacher processes, the behavior a science teacher elicits in the classroom is a factor that influences students' learning of science. OLUDIPE 2002, Barry Canton 2016, Mazuzi 2019, Idris et al. 2020. From my experience during my secondary school days, aside from mathematics teachers, some science teachers were seen to always go about with cane, especially male ones. God help you if they posed a question in class and were not able to answer it correctly. In fact, the next side of some of the teachers may make you forget your name, talk less of the teacher now raising his voice at you. Earlier study by OLUDIPE 2002 examined the effects of teacher classroom behavior on student achievement in physics. Results revealed that not only did most of the students report their teachers were tough, rarely entertained students' questions, usually wore a frown, were impatient, short-tempered, did not explain and communicate well, but the mean score of students with positive teacher classroom behavior was higher than that of students with negative teacher classroom behavior, and the difference was significant. Recent studies by Suzy 2019, Idris et al. 2020, Mamada Zlover 2020 lends credence to this. So, teachers' classroom behavior needs a change of narrative if the situation still subsists in our classrooms. Closely related to the personality variable of teachers' classroom behavior is teachers' attitude towards science teaching. Teachers that are positively disposed to science teaching are more likely to develop more conceptual knowledge and understanding of the skills and processes, and eagerly teaching with the ultimate goal of ensuring students excel in it. Earlier study by OLUDIPE and OLUDIPE 2004 revealed that most of the prospective teachers sampled had a positive attitude towards teaching. At the end of 2021, we reported a positive disposition of science teachers towards basic science and technology teaching. In fact, a significant positive correlation between teachers' attitudes and students' achievement in basic science and technology was found. Mr. Vice Chancellor, distinguished audience, the professional qualification of a science teacher has been very reported to influence science students' learning outcomes. Past studies and recent studies corroborate this admission. Akinbobola and Enoch 2010, OLUDIPE 2021, Marco and Neil 2023, OLUDIPE and OLUDIPE 2021 found that many of the teachers teaching basic science and some other science subjects in our secondary schools are not qualified. These teachers are mainly graduates of other science programs aside basic science. In a figurative sense, it's like putting a square peg in a round hole. This evidently is not fitting. This narrative must be addressed. Learner-centered teaching methods and science learning outcomes. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. In the classroom setting, instructional methods that are learner-centered have rarely been advocated for if students have to learn science. OLUDIPE 2019, OLUDIPE 2021, OLUDIPE 2022. This is the ideal. These learner-centered methods allow students to take charge of their learning, make learning fun, engaging, and adapted to students' needs and interests. However, the reality in our classrooms is that the conventional method that is teacher-centered is still mostly used at DIE 2020 or OLUDIPE 2021, despite the fact that it has been grossly criticized. The narrative must change. Various instructional methods that are learner-centered and their influence on learning outcomes in science were very advocated for, and their efficiency in improving students' learning outcomes were among the studies conducted by the Inaugural Lecture, and these were found to improve learning outcomes. Simulation instructional strategy improves students' interest in basic science at the junior secondary school level, OLUBISI, OLUDIPE, and AGO 2021. The constructivist-based teaching strategy improves students' achievement in integrated science at the junior secondary school level, OLUDIPE and OLUDIPE 2010. Earlier, OLUDIPE 2003, OLUDIPE 2004, and OLUDIPE 2009 found that peer-to-student assisted instruction significantly improves students' achievement in physics. In fact, one of my major and outstanding discovery about this teaching strategy is that reciprocal peer tutoring not only improves students' achievement in physics, but it was found to be very effective instructional delivery mode in large physics classes. OLUDIPE 2009. As students in large physics classes outperformed their peers in small physics classes when this strategy was employed. Interestingly also, female students exposed to this teaching strategy retained a significantly higher mean score in physics than their male counterparts. Furthermore, cooperative learning was not only found to improve students' learning in basic science, OLUDIPE 2012, OLUDIPE 2013, but students also showed preference for it, OLUDIPE 2012. Okoye Bello and OLUDIPE 2018 equally found out that the physics students taught with distributed practice approach showed better performance in physics, had better retention of physics concepts, and showed a better attitude towards physics. In same vein, V-diagram instructional strategy improves secondary school students' performance in an attitude towards chemistry practical than the conventional method, OESA 2021. Instructional infographics also improve students' achievement and retention in junior secondary school, basic science and technology, Cholipo 2019. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. OLUDIPE and Cholipo were my PhD and master's students, and this study was carried out under my supervision. Similarly, the use of laboratory instructional intervention significantly improved learning outcomes of low-performing senior secondary school students in physics, OLUDIPE 2014. Also, collaborative method was found to improve senior secondary school students' achievement and retention of chemistry concepts, OLUDIPE Saka and OLO 2021. Learner-based methods, hands-on and minds-on activities in science learning. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. In science classrooms, there are various forms of interactions geared towards promoting learning. Teachers interact with students, students interact with fellow students, and students interact with learning materials. Many of these learner-centered methods had enumerated that brought about significant improvements in the learning outcomes of students in science, mostly involve hands-on and mind-on activities. Hands-on and mind-on activities engage students with learning materials, thereby helping them to learn independently, develop their motor skills, problem-solving skills, creativity, time on task, and critical thinking abilities. To establish this planning support, OLUDIPE Objective and Karim 2020 investigated the effectiveness of hands-on and mind-on activities on junior secondary school, basic science, students learning and accounting in Ogun State, junior secondary schools. Hands-on, mind-on group has significant positive attitude towards basic science than those in conventional teaching group. Students' cognitive style and science learning. Although I'm a staunch advocate of the use of learner-centered methods of teaching to make science classrooms more interesting for optimum learning of science, however, there is need also for teachers to align science teaching methods with cognitive styles of students. OLUDIPE 2014. Cognitive style is a personality trait that has to do with the way individual students organize and process or analyze information presented to them. This arises from individual differences which exist among learners with regards to their cognitive and perception functioning. Taking this into consideration, students can be profiled into two categories according to Moss and Siegel, 1963. Analytic and non-analytic or holistic learners. An analytic person is able to break down a stimulus configuration into its component parts, while a non-analytic person tends to preserve the holistic nature of a stimulus configuration. I can relate this to two people giving bolus of a verb to eat that different ways of eating it. One person may cut it into bits and swallow without chewing. Another one may cut into bits, chew before swallow. The first category are the non-analytic thinkers, while the second category are the analytic thinkers. They can break down a stimulus configuration into its component parts. The importance of the is the science concept teacher presents to students. The process of swallowing, that means assimilating information, either first chewing or not chewing before swallowing, depicts the cognitive functioning of analytic and non-analytic thinkers. Analytic thinkers focus on individual objects, assigning them to categories based on their physical features or observable attributes. Non-analytic or holistic thinkers consider the context as a whole, focusing on the relationship between objects, that means relating it to the functions. For instance, if they are asked to describe a dog, an analytic thinker would describe it in terms of visible features. A dog has 4 legs and a short tail. Non-analytic thinker will describe it as an animal that lives in the house and barks. Students may use a mixture of both approaches, analytic and non-analytic. However, one may be dominant. In science classrooms, the teacher is bound to encounter students that belong to both groups of thinkers. Hence, they should align their teaching methods to accommodate both. While some students can easily comprehend science concepts and assimilate it while the teacher does explain, some will need to see concrete objects before they can assimilate said information. The variability of the lesson in terms of the teaching method is what every professional science teacher should be able to readily do. OLUDIPE 2014. Analyze physics students' cognitive styles and its influence on physics achievement of senior secondary school students. She found that most of the students sampled were analytic and a significant difference in physics achievement in favor of analytic students. The study concluded that teachers should endeavor to find out students' cognitive style and use strategies consistent with it. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. Talking about the science curriculum in schools, the central guide for all teachers as what is essential for teaching and learning in schools is the curriculum. This comprises all teaching learning activities that will bring about changes in the learning experience of students. The way science should perceive the curriculum is the way she will interpret and implement it. OLUDIPE and OLUDIPE 2009, 2011 investigated the perception of science teachers on the basic science curriculum. Result findings showed that majority of the student teachers in the integrated science major and non-integrated science major had cohesive conceptions of integrated science more than the fragmented conceptions. Also, OLUDIPE 2011 in similar study found that many and female teachers and public and private school teachers were not significantly different in their perceptions of the science curriculum. However, significant differences between the perceptions of teachers with and without science teaching qualifications and more experienced and less experienced teachers were found. The selection and organization of the curriculum content is one of the problems associated with the Nigerian educational system. The curriculum keeps undergoing additional changes and emphasis because of the evolving environment and in outline, changing government policies and possibly political undertone. These curricula are differentially implemented by science teachers who are the agents of change in the classroom. Development of the right attitude, context conceptions, and competence by the teachers who are the curricular implementers is very necessary. It is noteworthy that teachers are central figure in the curriculum process. AGO-IWOYE and 2023. The planned intended learning experiences like knowledge, skills, attitudes, ideas, and ideologies all aim at enabling the learner to function effectively in our society. Instructional needs of science teachers. There is no doubt that the government at all levels put in so much into ensuring that science content delivery is improved in the classroom and teachers' output improves. Inaugural seminars and workshops are organized from time to time to acquaint science teachers with best practices in the classroom. However, finding out their instructional needs occasionally is germane. If I want to look at the instructional needs of teachers in science, it's not out of place, but we furnish the government with relevant information on the gaps in the instructional process of science teachers. OLUDIPE 2019, an assessment of teachers' instructional needs in physics and physics practical, found that many of the teachers indicated they need more help in developing questions that demand higher order thinking skills, announcing students' existing ideas and conceptions, encouraging students' participation in classroom learning scenes, connecting science concepts to real-life examples, conceptual understanding of physics concepts, adapting teaching methods to meet individual students' needs, and so on. The result also revealed that the instructional needs of physics teachers were not significantly sensitive to gender differences, experiences, and professionalism of teachers. Talking about the science laboratory and science process training in our schools. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. Laboratory practical is an essential component for effective learning of science. However, instructional facilities needed in the laboratory for practical work are either not available or they are not adequate, hence the need for improvisation. Locally sourced materials can be used to minimize cost of the real materials or resources needed to teach science where they are not available. For instance, in biology, the DNA models can be replaced with stripped cardboard for illustration when teaching genetics. Bionic cylinders can be replaced with gravitated feeding bottle to teach measurements. Cloth hangers or pen can be used in place of test tube holders. Materials from within the learner's environment, scholars have earlier reported, are rarely used in teaching of various science concepts, and in Inaugural 2000 and Inaugural 2000. But the knowledge of the science teachers about it and the readiness to use these resources are important. OLUDIPE 2009 investigated the readiness and proficiency of science teachers in using items from local communities in teaching contemporary science. Most of the teachers indicated that they are comfortable with teaching science from the community perspective as they possess good background knowledge from teaching from this context. Nevertheless, some 26% indicated they will need more professional support and opportunity to teach science from this context. These needs should be addressed. Assessment and its purpose to stakeholders. Another area where the narrative must change in our classrooms is the area of student assessment. The hallmark of every teaching learning process is to ensure learning has taken place. This is affirmed by observable changes in the learning experiences of learners brought about through assessment. Any science teaching learning process is not complete without classroom assessment. It is a feedback mechanism that gives various information to concerned stakeholders ranging from students, teachers, parents, principals, school guidance counselor, curriculum planners, and other educational policymakers. This is to justify the time spent in the teaching learning process, the time students spend in school, the material resources involved, and the need to teach and effort of personnel involved. Assessment, which will be diagnostic, formative, or summative, is practiced in our schools and comes in form of continuous assessment, weekly tests, daily homework, oral tests, assignments, projects, quizzes, or other tasks that measure students' learning. While diagnostic assessment could be pre-assessment given to measure students' strengths and weaknesses before classroom instruction, summative assessment gives the content knowledge and skills students have gained at the end of the unit or 10 or school year. Formative assessment could be carried out daily or weekly to measure students' progress. It gives the lesson unit, and it's usually built into a unit lesson unit at the developmental stage as frequent learning checks that gives feedback on the appropriateness or need to modify the lesson unit. ONUCA 2005, ONUCA and OLUDIPE 2005, and OYE and OPALA 2005. While advocating for systematic assessment, submitted that skill-based assessment, as it is systematically carried out, if done effectively, can lead to improvement in learning outcome. The systematic assessment comes in the form of classwork, homework, assignments, and so on. Not only is it imperative to carry out formative assessment in science classrooms, but also in science practical classes. Alluding to this, OLUDIPE 2006 accepted that the regular assessment of students in science practical classrooms will improve their proficiency in handling apparatus, manipulative, communicational, computational, reasoning, and graphing skills or completeness, which the one-off practical assessment or single assessment of practical knowledge may not improve. This is the idea. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. Assessment reports which arise from systematically conducted assessment modes are usually used to make decisions at all school levels, be it primary, secondary, or tertiary. It is the only way to ensure teaching and learning are taking place. In order to do this, and is obtain this report, the teacher needs to collect relevant data on learners. For instance, student scores after grading. This process is called measurement. Organize the data, that means the scores, in an interpretable manner, either from the least score to the highest score, that is the ascending order, or from the highest score to the least score, that is the descending order, in order to see the order or the trend. This process is called assessment. Providing interpreted information for decision making, which could be certification, selection, placement, or promotion, by school administrators, curriculum developers, and policy makers. This process is called evaluation. In carrying out assessment in the school system, to measure level of cognition, academic tests are mainly used. It could be objective tests, essay tests, or both. The essay test could be open-ended or closed-ended. The objective test could be multiple choice test, picture item test, alternative response item test, completion item test, rank order item test, matching item test. In this school system, teachers can use computer-based tests, CBT, or paper and pencil test, PPT. The PPT could be standardized tests or teacher-made tests. Teachers develop the teacher-made test without necessarily understanding the nitty-gritty of developing it. Odolo Zakaria and Olowe 2016, OLUDIPE 2022. Far-reaching decisions, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. Far-reaching decisions are made with assessment reports through the tools used. And if this instrument, that means the tool is faulty, decisions made may inadvertently mar or negatively impact on the students. It can let students become discouraged, disillusioned, depressed, withdrawn, or suffer low esteem. It is a known fact that a faulty instrument will give incorrect results. A doctor who gives injection meant to lower blood pressure to a patient who has malaria will end up snuffing life out of the patient. Similarly, a doctor who uses unsterilized instrument for a patient may end up infecting or complicating the patient's health issues. In same vein, a science teacher who uses a tool that is not reliable or valid to make decisions on students may mar the future of the students. Objective decisions should be made about learners, and as much as possible, subjectivity avoided. Test construction, development of a table of certification. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. Of all the objective tests, the most commonly used in schools is the multiple choice test, OLUDIPE 2022. In developing this test, there is need for teachers to be able to develop a table of certification or test blueprint, which is a two-dimensional table with process objectives in one column and the content on the other. Is meant to guide the teacher, who is the test planner, to determine the total number of items in the test in relation to the content areas and process objectives to be assessed. From PROF 1956 taxonomy of educational objectives, there are 3 learning domains: cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains. The cognitive domain is hierarchical level of cognition at 6 levels, knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. However, for convenience, in secondary schools, the test is usually limited to the first 3 or 4 levels. The content focuses on the detailed analysis of the curricular aspects to be considered in the test. The weight of the test items on each content area and process objectives depicted in percentage is determined by the instructional emphasis on the topic in the curriculum relative to others, and B, the amount of time the teacher spent in teaching the topic. For the process objectives, which are also in hierarchical order, the test developer spreads the questions to include ones that require higher order thinking than just recall of facts. Table 3, we have a table of succession. In developing questions, learning objectives should be described using measurable verbs. Bloom, 1956, created a taxonomy of these measurable verbs, which classify observable behaviors in terms of knowledge, skills, attitudes, abilities, and behaviors. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. Research findings by OLUDIPE 2021 showed that some of the science teachers indicated they are not aware the table of suspicion exists, talk less of knowing how to develop one. The few indicated they know about it could not develop the table of suspicion. Furthermore, going through tests and exam questions papers in sample schools, more of their questioning pattern revealed that most of their questions focus on lower level cognitive objectives rather than higher level cognitive objectives, which promotes problem solving, critical thinking, and needs to comprehend the complex and often abstract nature of science and solve numerical problems often encountered. The higher order questions task students to be able to analyze, synthesize, and evaluate information instead of just recall of facts that the lower order questions center on. Interesting this, the WAEC examiners report 2018 revealed that part of the students' strength was their proficiency in answering questions requiring recall of facts, while among their weaknesses was poor performance in questions that required application of knowledge. Still lending credence to the above, OLUDIPE in 2019, in assessment of teachers' instructional needs in physics and physics practical, found that many of the teachers indicated they need more help in developing questions that demand higher order thinking skills. This narrative must be addressed. Scoring. Another area where teachers need to be educated so as to change narratives in the science classroom to the ideal is objective scoring or determined objective tests. Findings reveal that many science teachers do not understand the process of getting this done correctly. OLUDIPE 2022. Objectivity should be ensured when scoring with the development of a marking guide. In this era of technology, the scoring machine or computer can be used in scoring, but where this is unavailable, as the situation subsists in most of our classrooms, manual scoring should be done objectively and correctly. For instance, for a 50-item test with options A to E, the scholar should ensure that the options are possibly evenly distributed in the marking guide, arranged randomly and not sequentially to minimize guessing. Part of what every practicing teacher needs to know, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, but many do not know, is that some students often make a guess of answers and they end up guessing right and getting away with it because teachers are oblivious of how to correct for guessing. OLUDIPE 2022. To make scoring more objective, there is need to correct for guessing, and there is a way it is done to get the actual score or the true score or the corrected score of the testee. For instance, for a 50-item multiple choice test, for instance, without any item omitted, the correction for guessing is done using this formula. Actual score is equal to R minus W over N minus 1. R is the number of items answered correctly, W is the number of items answered incorrectly, N is the number of options. Now let's take this example. For a 50-item multiple choice test with options A to D, where Paul got 35 items correctly, and did not omit any items, actual score would be the R there is 35 minus, because it's out of 50 items, so 35 from 50 remains 15. So the W there is 15 over the N there is 4, because the options are A to D, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 minus 1. So 35 minus 15 over 3, that gives us 25 minus 5, and that gives us 30. After correcting for guessing, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, core score is 30 marks and not 35 marks. However, it should be noted that the formula above assumes that any wrong response is due to guessing, and items omitted or skipped are not to be considered. Opala, Onochai, and Oyodeji 1993. Computer-based test. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. In this era of technology in the global world, the global world is fast moving from paper and pencil tests, PPT, to computer-based tests, CBT. CBT has many advantages. CBT has been used since 1960 to test knowledge and problem-solving skills. Sonora et al. 2007. It is imperative that science teachers be computer literate in order to be able to support students as to make use of CBT. Earlier study by OLUDIPE 2004 showed that not only most of the teachers sampled or points that they were computer literate, they also had a positive attitude towards the use of computers in school to assist classroom instruction. Similarly, OLUDIPE and OLUDIPE 2017, in their investigation of the science testing preference mode for science teachers, found that these teachers showed preference for the CBT testing mode as against the PBT testing mode. It's quite obvious that they were seeing the numerous benefits of CBT over the PBT, and they are ready to align with evolving technology. They should be encouraged and CBT further promoted. Gender issues. In this science theory, where science and technology is trending in the world, more personnel are needed to take up careers in the field. However, limitations are placed on females due to gender discrimination and stereotyping. The latter do not only affect females' representation in the world of work, but limits their choices and opportunities, shape their perception, constrict knowledge acquired and skills developed. Unfair treatment and statements made out to females make them feel less to males. In 1999, OLUDIPE 2022. Words like, hey, you can do it. You're a female, you're weak. That's too much for you. Don't go there. It's a man's job. And so on. In that setting, preference for the male child is still well pronounced, and traditional activities forbidding females from some activities are still practiced. At the home front, some parents still show favoritism towards the male children, whether intentionally or otherwise. Most domestic chores, cleaning, cooking, caring for children, and entire family are taken up by females because they are labeled female chores. While mowing of lawn, cutting of grass, servicing of cars, painting of the house often are seen as male responsibilities. Mr. Vice Chancellor, I am here to see a woman that drives a trailer in this area. If there are, there will be few. I've keenly observed that many records of accidents we hear about or read about in the daily newspapers on our roads happen to vehicles driven by men than by women. I believe if the situation reverses, we may likely witness fewer accidents on our roads. How many female, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, how many female barbers, painters, bricklayers, plumbers, mechanics, furniture workers, and so on are women? In this age where we are clamoring for entrepreneurship as a means of economic and financial empowerment, why are the ladies scarcely found in their aforementioned jobs? Even if they take up such jobs, will they experience good patronage? Females are not confined. Females are not to be confined to the kitchen and the other room. What a man can do, it is popularly said, a female can do. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, as a business teacher of many years, I'm here to see a female science technologist. I'm not saying one. The awareness is being created. If there are, there will be few, sir. The awareness is being created in every local creative society for women inclusiveness, yet women still experience discrimination against their gender in political circles, employment opportunities and practices, educational opportunities, social circle and home front, and also 2005. Women in some homes still experience battering and all sorts of violence. The experiences in the workplace are not different for some either. When a woman assumes a leadership role, not only is she discriminated against, she asserts herself and insists on following due process, but sometimes bullied and unduly intimidated. Mr. Vice Chancellor, there is a gender gap in the field of science and technology, with fewer females compared to males found in this field and workforce. These have been reported to be due to gender stereotypes, fewer role models for women, male-dominated cultures, unequal growth opportunities compared to men, and unequal pay for the same skills. Daniel et al. 2014, OLUDIPE 2014, OLUDIPE and OLUDIPE 2019. Achieving gender parity in science in terms of enrollment and achievement has been an issue of concern to many researchers. Daniel et al. 2014, Erosion 1999, 2005, Billy Sonia Oderu 2007, OLUDIPE and OLUDIPE 2019, Musa 2019. While OLUDIPE and OLUDIPE 2019 found no significant effect of gender on students' achievement in basic science, Erosion 1999 in an earlier study established gender differences in interest and performance of high school students. Similarly, Daniel et al. 2014, OLUDIPE 2014 documented gender differences in achievement in physics. Also, Musa et al. 2019 found that male science and mathematics students achieve significantly better than female counterparts. The major task is to change the narratives by finding ways of closing the gender gap in achievement in science to advance capacity building and equal representation of both gender in sciences. OLUDIPE 2009 found that deployment of reciprocal peer teaching significantly improves students' achievement in physics, with females performing significantly better than males. Also, OLUDIPE 2014 found gender effects were significant, with females performing significantly better than males when reciprocal peer tutoring was employed in the classroom. Science teachers, therefore, could employ this reciprocal peer tutoring as an assisted form of instruction to foster female students' achievement and possible closer gender gap in science achievement. Conclusion. Mr. Vice Chancellor. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have taken you in the past few minutes through the reality that subsists in the science classrooms that mitigate the effective teaching and learning of science and the need to change the narrative from the status quo that means the reality to the ideal. I have x-rayed the teacher personality traits with respect to the classroom behavior, content knowledge, teacher professionalism, teachers' attitude towards the teaching of science, conceptions of the science curriculum by science teachers, benefits of hands-on and mind-on activities in science learning, instructional needs of science teachers, deployment of an area of learner-centered instructional methods that align with community style of students, assessment mode and practices in science classrooms, gender issues, gender and science achievement. All students can perform excellently and learn science to attain mastery level if the teachers are willing and governments are willing and ready to change the status quo to the ideal. Recommendations. Mr. Vice Chancellor. The following are the recommendations made by this inaugural lecture. There is need by the teachers to scale the knowledge of the concept of respective science subjects they teach. They also need to learn to deploy effective and innovative instructional methods that align with students' community styles in teaching science. This will not just bring novelty to science teaching, but help students to think critically in order to solve problems, make science more interesting, engaging, active, real to life, fun like an adventure, and equip students with skills and confidence to learn new concepts, and creating them the desired readiness to be receptive to new knowledge and skills. Science teachers need to demystify the erroneous belief that science is abstract, complex, and difficult to understand by the way they approach the teaching of the subject, and adequately interact with the students and the teaching materials, encourage them and embrace inclusiveness. 3, science learning can be very interesting when teachers use more visuals, vis-a-vis diagrams, models, images, video clips, video, experiments, and illustrations. This helps to foster students' understanding and connections with science concepts taught. Also, engaging students in more hands-on activities, use of real-life examples, making classroom more interactive by allowing them to be more expressive as they ask questions to clarify concepts and answer questions posed by teachers or colleagues. 4, government must train teachers so they can be professionally qualified in the respective fields of science and deployed into the classrooms to teach science subjects they specialize in. The training on how to deploy different instructional methods during teaching, encourage scientific thinking, use classroom assessment to support students' learning, relate science learning to real-life situations, and engage students in high-level questions can be done when teachers are professionally trained. 5. Efforts must be made to achieve gender parity in science and technology by extending the same level of opportunities available to males, also to females in all respects, encouraging and motivating them so they can develop the much needed confidence to believe in themselves, to be able to learn science, and to take up tasks in supposedly male-dominated field. 6. More in-service trainings in form of seminars and workshops are needed that will help science teachers leverage technology to advance science instruction and assessment practices, learn to improvise materials for promoting explorations and boosting students' skills and knowledge of basic studies in science. Get acquainted with certain higher order questions that will foster critical thinking and problem solving. Become more creative by giving projects and assignments that allow students reasoning ability or carry out further research. Acknowledgements. Mr. Vice Chancellor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, I would like to express my profound appreciation once again to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords for his faithfulness in all space of my life. It was my help in ages past. He is my hope for years to come. I express deep gratitude to the visionary university management, starting from the Vice Chancellor of this great university, Professor Ayodeji O.J. Agbola, his predecessors in office, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, Professor Latuto Odenike, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Professor Charles O. Adekoya, the Registrar, Mr. Femi Ogunwomochi, the University Librarian, Dr. Ibambo Ojuwole, and the Bursar, Mr. Semi Omakinde. Immense appreciation to all my teachers, both dead and alive. Right from my primary school days through secondary school up to the tertiary level. I'm grateful for their tutorship and mentorship to make me an accomplished woman of excellence and virtue that I have today. Prominent among these academic mentors are Professor Nigi Odedeji, Vice Chancellor with the Commission. I plead that these are distinguished teachers of mine. Please stand up and remain standing. Where are they? My teachers, where are they? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Professor Nigi Odedeji, Professor Ola Oyedeji. Oh, thank you. Professor Kola Odunaike, General. Where is General? Thank you, oh General. Thank you for the bonus of the ground. Professor Titi Hassan, Professor Esra Anosho, and Professor Kehinde Adedosu, my professor. Respectfully, can you take your seats? Thank you, sir. I want to thank Dr. G.N. Obaita and Professor T.W. Yoloye, my master's and PhD research at the University of Ibadan. I thank Dr. Oluka Adam for his usual support and encouragement. Thanks to my research partner, Dr. Daniel OLUDIPE. Dr. Daniel OLUDIPE, can you stand up? Dr. Daniel OLUDIPE, Daniel, are you there? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm grateful to my childhood friends, colleagues, and seniors in our Lady of Apostles Secondary School. Any of our students here? Great fellas? Thank you, ma. Thank you. Colleagues during my undergraduate years at Ogun State University, I also appreciate my undergraduate and postgraduate students, past and present. I'm grateful to Professors O.B. Adeyemi, Dr. Zinka Ikunaya Olubela, A. ONABANJO, Azan, Mr. Dr. Sani, Mr. Olubawo, Mr. Liloja Shubomi Kazim, Ms. Kemi Shola, and Mrs. Adiola Bola for their contribution towards the preparation of this lecture. I'm grateful to Professors Aaron C. Shumoye, Olatayo Olatunde, Videmila Oye, Dr. Olasukomi, and Dr. Ashawari. Thank you so much. Special thanks to all the academic and non-academic staff in STEM and the Faculty of Education. I'm immensely grateful. Stars and lands. God bless you all. I want to thank exceptionally some father and mother figures in my life. Yeye Alaba Odunuga. Mommy, thank you so much. Chifobi Okuboyejo. Pa Ayo Adebanjo. Pa Ayo Adebanjo had to come all the way from Lagos just because of me. I am immensely grateful, sir. Thank you, sir. Professor Abeke Adesoya. Thank you, Mommy. God bless you. Mama Father, she's in the US and I know she's watching this online. Professor O.A.T. Shokonode, thank you, ma, thank you so much. Engineer Niyoke, Mrs. and Mrs. Morakio, Chief and Chief Mrs. Bodiamao, very good doctor and Professor Mrs. Wale Obushende. Is Professor Obushende here? Professor Mrs. Oh, thank you so much. Essential. Professor Adibu and Dr. Ms. Bola Abaje, very good, and Ms. Sonia, Ms. Bola Shive, and many others too numerous to mention. I'm grateful to you all. I am very grateful to colleagues from sister universities. Thank you so much for making our time to be here. I owe a lot to my late parents, my dear dad, Prince Abel Oluka of the Bangladesh, a retired director from the Ministry of Education, and my late mom, Mrs. Felicia Abosede Bangladesh, who painstakingly ensured the sponsor to the education of myself and my siblings, and ensured they performed their parental roles perfectly well to make us emerge as responsible adults they were so proud of before they departed this world. I recognize and especially thank my darling siblings, my senior brother, Dr. Olukawode Bambelu, Mr. Adeola Bambelu, Engineer Babatunde Bambelu, their spouse and children. God could not have given me better siblings, and I will appreciate you all for your numerous and quantifiable support towards me. Also, I sincerely thank my brothers and sisters-in-law who, like my siblings, are very loving and supportive towards my career. Pastor Dr. Michael Olusegun, Pastor Dr. Mrs. Oluyemisi Esther Oludipe, Pastor Olatoyi Oludipe, and Pastor Dr. Mrs. Shannon Olaniwaju Oludipe. May the Lord bless you richly and continue to strengthen the bond of the love of Christ that we share. I love you all. In no means do I thank Mrs. Olutiola and family, Olaji Musa and family, Mrs. Fumi Ige and family, Sobio and Mrs. Babatunde Ashaye and Mrs. Kenyasho. My heartfelt gratitude to my maternal uncles, aunts, and cousins, Dr. Kunle Ogunariwo, Mrs. Esther Adetayo, Mommy, thank you so much. Mrs. OLABANJO, Barrister Yemi Anu and Dr. Mrs. Yemi Anu, Dr. Bolale Igbo, Mrs. Toye Dairo, Engineer Tosin Igbo, Ms. Ayoka Adebanjo, thank you so much, and our siblings, Mojo Adeyemi and our siblings. I respectfully acknowledge my paternal uncles and cousins, His Royal Highness Oba Engineer Michael O. Adeshino, Kabiesi, Adiapelori, Baba Pelese. Thank you so much, sir. You are a father in every. Thank you so much. The other work for Wijebo, Mr. Wale Ogunawo, Chief Dr. Tony Okeawo, the Pro-Chancellor of Ajayi Crowther University, I respectfully request this my big cousin to please be offended. Is he here? Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for being part of me. Thank you for always being that. God bless you, sir. Reverend Canon Cynthia Okeawo, Mr. Olatokunbo Bambelu and siblings, Engineer Prince Cynthia Adeshino and siblings, Pastor Shola Adeborole. Pastor Shola, thank you, sir. God bless you, very good. And siblings, Mrs. Chiawadega and siblings, Tony Adeshino and siblings, thank you all. With a deep sense of appreciation, I thank all my spiritual fathers, bishops, and bishops' wives here present, and those watching this online. Thank you so much. I'm grateful. Massive thanks to all the wonderful and loving clergy wives of Ijebu Diocese. Clergy wives, just wait the Lord. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Thank you. And congregation of Ijebu Diocese, Ibadan and Ibadan South Diocese, thank you all. I appreciate you. I thank profoundly the Chancellor of Ijebu Anglican Diocese, Barrister Segun Temure. Thank you, sir. The Registrar, Honorable Justice Olukemi Oshisoya. The Deputy Registrar, Barrister Labio Okusanya. Thank you. Most respectfully, I thank all royal fathers here present. Mr. Vice Chancellor also. Permit me to use His Royal Highness Oba Adesesan A. Oguntayo, the Ajalawo of Ijebu Ife, as a point of courtesy and reference to all other royal highnesses here present. Kábíyèsí, Ajafe Lori, Bata Pelese, Lord Mejule, in the name of Jesus. I equally extend my appreciation to all their honorees. Thank you so much, man. May God bless you all. Sincere gratitude to all my wonderful and loving spiritual children and mentees, too numerous to mention, who are part of my Sunday study. and others. Special thanks to my children. Oluwatoyin and Shaye is not in the country. I'm so proud of the woman you have become. I know she's watching this online with her family. God bless her and your family. Engineer Tolu and me and Tolu and Ashok. Can you please stand up for recognition? Thank you so much for your sacrifices. Thank you so much for being kind, being caring, and being there for me always. I'm grateful to you, and you know I really love you. At this juncture, Mr. Vice Chancellor, I crave your indulgence to humbly request my husband. I acknowledge this husband of my youth, my friend, my confidant, my father, my pastor, my prayer partner, the man who believes in me. And by divine enablement, gives me wings to fly. He allows me to be seen and heard, my encourager, my inspiration. Thank you for fanning to flame my fire for excellence. May the Lord keep us on track and grant us the grace to finish well. In Jesus' name, amen. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for your time, attention, and patience. I wish you all safe trip back to your various destinations. God bless you all.
Once again, on behalf of the University Management, I warmly welcome you to the OLABISI ONABANJO University. It's a great citadel of learning, and as you can see, we're making waves here. We thank you very much for coming, and we wish you pleasant trips back to your various destinations. The inaugural lecturer has thanked you all and has mentioned nearly all the people present here. So we will not be able to read out all the names, but I can assure you, you are all very, very important personalities. We appreciate your being here today, and we thank you very much. But we cannot leave without mentioning a few names, which by no means that anybody is the least here. But protocol demands that we mention a few names here. But you are all very important people, and we are really glad to have you at the OLABISI ONABANJO University AGO-IWOYE. Kábíyèsí, Your Royal Highness, Ọba Adéṣẹ̀san Ògúntáyọ̀, the Ajaloru of Ijebu. We thank you very, very much, and we appreciate your coming here. Your Royal Highness, Ọba M.O. Adesina, the Olówu of Ijebu. We're so happy to see you today. We thank you very much, and the Olori, we thank you very much for coming. Your Royal Highness, Ọba Demola Olúṣàánú, the Ajalaye of Ijebu, we thank you very much for coming. We appreciate your presence. His Royal Highness, Ọba Olúrẹ̀mí Ọbáyẹmí, the Elese of Ilese Ijebu, we thank you for coming. We appreciate your coming. We have within us a distinguished personality, Chief Ayo Adebanjo. If you don't know him, you don't know anybody in Nigeria. We're very, very happy to have you there. The chairman of the elders, the Governor Advisory Council of Ogun State, Chief AGO-IWOYE, we really thank you for coming. We appreciate your presence here. We have with us here too the Foundation Provost of the Awolowo College of Health Sciences in Chicago, Professor Chief OLABISI, CON. We appreciate you. We thank you for coming. We have within us here Otumba Oshoba. We really appreciate your presence here. The Deputy Inspector General of Police. You are not tired but retired. We love you. We are happy to see you. We also appreciate your presence here, Barrister Kunle Kalejaye, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. We thank you for coming. The clergymen, we appreciate all of you here. We have the Bishop of Ega Anglican Diocese here, Right Reverend Dr. Emmanuel Adekunle. We thank you for coming. Thank you very much for coming. All the other clergymen here, thank you. We can feel even the God's presence here with us, because you can't be this many here and God himself will not be here with us. So we thank you for coming. We can see the aura. The executive chairman of the Japan Government, I'm told, is also with us here. We thank you for coming. We thank you all severally and individually for coming. Shortly now, I will ask the Vice Chancellor to declare this ceremony closed. May I implore you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, while the procession is exiting in reverse order, that you please stand and remain standing while the procession exits in reverse order. Immediately we are out, the wife of the inaugural lecturer and the children will join the procession. Right, so please forgive me. Please, you and the children will please follow us so that we take the pictures again before we take the general picture. I know I didn't want to start calling each of the clergymen one by one so that I don't miss anyone there. Yeah, Archbishop Fabe, we really appreciate your coming here. I think the person for coming to this. We thank every person here, the clergy, everyone that is here today. We thank you for coming, and may God guide you to your respectful safety. Thank you. Now, may I ask the Vice Chancellor to please declare this 109th Inaugural Lecture closed. The Vice Chancellor.
Once again, the principal officer of the university, members of Senate, distinguished others, this permits me to recognize my teacher and my mentor, especially Professor OLABISI. Thank you very much for coming, sir. I am very sure that you have listened attentively to the lecture. There are some hypotheses that we need to clarify later in future. Gender and science, gender and entrepreneurship, but I'm sure that some of us are also encouraging them. I have 4 females, and 3 of them are already reading engineering. So it shows clearly that we are already encouraging the female in science. So that hypothesis are also not correct. So ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Senate of this university, I hereby declare this 109th Inaugural Lecture closed.
Can we please rise, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you. The procession will now exit in reverse order. Thank you very much.
much. Wishing you journey mercies back to your various destinations.